Welcome. Thank you for being here. An hour of Yin and Yang inside yoga. And Luna is here too. So we'll start lying down. You can have your knees bent and your feet a little wider than your hips, knees together. Just so that it's really easy on the lower back. You can let your arms rest by your sides or on your belly, whatever feels comfortable for your shoulders and whatever feels grounding. If you like, you can close your eyes and take a moment to fully arrive. Just to notice the ground underneath you. Just noticing your feet, the back of your pelvis, your shoulder blades, the back of your head, the back of your arms. All these touch points. That literally give you a sense of connection to the ground. And then notice the space around you, above you, the front of your body that is open towards the sky. And can you quite literally draw in that connection with the open space around you by deepening your breath? Just breathing in through the nose, allowing the belly to expand, really drawing in the outer space towards the inner landscape. And as you exhale, just let it release by relaxing the belly. So a couple of nice, deep, conscious breaths. And as you breathe this deeply, this may require a little more effort than your regular breath, but keep it soft. Keep your jaw relaxed. One more deep breath into your belly. And completely release as you exhale. And then place your hands around your ribs, the side or the front, whatever feels easy. And then as you inhale again, now allow the ribs to actively spread wide, front, side, and back. So as you do that, you may notice that you cannot expand the belly at the same time. And so breathing actively into the ribs, Rib cage widens towards the front, the side, and the back. And exhale, gently draw the ribs together. So a couple more breaths like that. Just pulling the diaphragm in a more lateral direction. If this feels tight, then it's great to continue a few more to help loosen up the intercostal muscles. Two more. And then coming back to your normal breath. Reach your arms overhead. Let your arms rest on the floor. Your arms don't have to be straight. Your elbows can be bent. And this time as you inhale, see if you can draw the breath all the way into your upper chest. See if you're lifting your clavicles towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, release. Now as you do this, again, you may notice that you will not move the belly nor the rib cage. And there's not as much movement as in the belly and the ribs, but nonetheless, you can feel this sense of expansion all the way in the upper chest, so getting into the extremities of the lungs, all the way into the upper lobes. Two more. It's almost as if you can breathe into your armpits. And then release the breath, coming back to your normal breath. Arms come back by your sides. Noticing if you can feel any effect of this active breathing. And place your hands on your heart. This is a reminder to practice with loving kindness towards yourself. Honoring your body, heart, and mind where they're at. Checking in each moment what feels needed, what is appropriate. Do you need to do more? Do you need to do less? And so take one more nice deep breath in. And exhale, let it go with a sigh. And then you can open your eyes if they were closed and take a blanket and place it on the side of your mat. Doesn't matter which side, and then roll onto your belly. And then when you're on your belly, keeping your head down, bring one leg, again it doesn't matter which one, but the one that's on the side of your blanket, bring the knee out to the side at about hip height, maybe a little bit below hip height, the ankle in line with your knee. And if your lower back is okay with that, come up onto your elbows into Sphinx pose. You're welcome to stay down if you prefer. And so you're relaxing the legs, especially the area of the glutes, the lower back and the lower belly. Just letting the body settle into this shape as you let the breath find space. And breathing into the back of your rib cage. Imagining that you're breathing into your kidneys. And notice if you can feel a subtle shift from that intentional breathing into your kidneys. Yes, with that intentional breath increasing and the chi flow into the kidneys is helping to revitalize your whole system. And 2 more breaths here. And then slowly lower your chest and head down and straighten the bent leg. Pausing for a moment, noticing any difference between your right and your left side. And then carefully move your blanket to the other side of your mat. And with your head and chest down, bring the other knee out to the side. No higher than hip height. And then again, you can stay down if you prefer or come back onto your elbows. Noticing if this side is feeling any different. And then you may remember from Thursday, I suggested to check what happens if you can actively or more rather consciously relax the soles of your feet and your tongue. And when you do that, what effect that has on the rest of your body. I find there to be a subtle shift when you relax those specific parts that may not be so obvious to relax. And see what happens when you consciously relax the little muscles around your eyes. And then can you even imagine that you're relaxing your brain? And 2 more breaths here. And then slowly lower your chest and your head down, straighten the bent knee. Again, pausing for a moment to notice the effects of this shape that you are in. And then bring your hands under your shoulders, carefully come up to your knees to come into a wide-legged child's pose. And you may like to spread your blanket out on your mat if your knees go a little bit wider than your mat. Bringing your big toes to touch, knees apart. And letting your head rest on the floor or on a cushion. You could support your chest with a cushion or blocks. Really letting the sits bones drop towards your heels, whether they touch or not. Allowing the inner legs, the groin area to gently be pulled open, not too much, but also not too little. Another option for support is to slide blocks right in front of your shoulders so you don't have this sense of collapsing in the chest. Consider just giving you support, but the head is still relaxed. And then again, can you come back to that active breathing into your rib cage? And so allowing the ribs to expand in this 3-dimensional shape, front, side, and back. The belly stays relaxed. Just a couple rounds. And keeping your jaw and tongue relaxed. And 2 more of those deep breaths into the ribs. And coming back to your normal breath. Just relaxing the inhale and the exhale. You may notice that your knees are starting to slide apart a little further as the tissues are releasing. You don't have to actively do anything, but just allow that to happen if you notice a shift in your body. And 2 more deep breaths here. And slowly re-support yourself with your arms coming up. And then rather than sliding your knees together, just help your knees back to center. And then come onto your hands and knees. It may feel good to straighten out one leg at a time. And if you like, you can fold your blanket a little thicker if you need more support under your knees. And then when you feel ready, coming to a table pose with hands and knees on the ground, tucking your toes to get this very gentle stretch for the soles of your feet. As you inhale, lift your sits bones, arch your back, lift the heart. And as you exhale, draw your tailbone under. As you pull the belly button up, let your head hang. So inhale, lifting sits bones, tailbone as the back arches. And as you exhale, tailbone draws down as you round your spine. And just a few more movements like this. And as you let the spine round and arch, allow the shoulder blades to move as well. So when you arch the back, the shoulder blades slide together. And then when you round your spine, the shoulder blades move apart. And one more inhale. And exhale. Coming back to a neutral spine. Make sure that your hands are straight under your shoulders and that your toes are tucked. Now as you exhale, lift your belly button to your spine and lift your knees just about an inch or so, 2 centimeters off the floor. So pull the belly button to your spine, engaging your core. Lift up under your armpits. Press down into your hands so you're not hanging in the shoulders. Active arms. And take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, lift your hips up to downward facing dog. Don't move your hands and feet. You can keep your knees bent. Lifting the sits bones, you're stretching out the lower back, your arms. Take another breath. And as you exhale, bend your knees again as if you're coming back to a table, but your knees hover just above the floor. Pull your belly button to your spine. As you exhale, lift your hips up, back to downward dog. Knees can stay slightly bent. And take an inhale. Exhale again, bend your knees, let them hover just above the floor. Your knees are under your hips. Take another breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. And as you inhale, lower your knees all the way to the floor, and exhale, untuck your toes. On your next inhale, reach the right arm out and up, twisting the chest open. And exhale, reach the right arm underneath to the left, coming halfway down. Inhale, reach the arm out and up. And exhale, reach down to the left. A few more like this. And just finding a nice space in your chest and your shoulder. One more inhale here, and as you exhale, the hand reaches to the left. Let the right shoulder come down to the floor. The right side of your face comes down to the floor. And place your left hand in front of your face, coming onto your fingertips. Okay, you make a little tent with your hand. Your left elbow points up towards the ceiling. So press into your left hand and the elbow straight over the wrist. And then pull your left armpit back. So you're really activating the muscles around the left shoulder blade. Right palm is facing up. Now you could stay here. One option would be to extend the left leg straight behind you, coming onto the toes, or bring the left leg to the side and grab the left foot with your right hand. But don't lose the activation of the left shoulder. So if you grab the left foot, you can lean away a little bit from that foot. Be mindful to keep your weight back into your legs, not in your head. And taking one more breath. Exhale, if your leg is straight, carefully bend the knee, place it back onto the floor. Press into your left hand to come up. Right arm out and up. And exhale down to the floor. Taking a moment to notice the difference between your right and your left side. And then when you're ready, reach the left arm out and up. And exhale, thread it underneath to the right, bending the right elbow, coming halfway down. Inhale, left arm out and up. Exhale, reach it to the right. And it's just the same thing we did before, a few more times. Relax your feet. One more inhale, and as you exhale, the hand reaches to the right. Let the left shoulder, left side of your face come down to the floor. The right hand in front of your face on the floor, on your fingertips, elbow lifting up towards the ceiling as the hand presses down. Pull the right armpit back. So active muscles around the right shoulder blade. Weight is in your legs. And then you can stay here, or you could extend the right leg behind you, keeping the action in the right shoulder. Or slide the right leg out to the side and grab the foot with your left hand, if you can. Keep the right shoulder active. Keep your weight in your legs, at least away from your head. So move the hips back. 2 more breaths. If your right leg is straight, bend the knee, lower the knee to the floor. Press into your right hand to come up, left arm out and up. And exhale, lower your hand down. Keep your hips over your knees, walk your hands out, chest down, puppy stretch. Shoulder blades actively pull towards your hips, releasing the heart towards the floor. One more breath. And as you inhale, come up back to your hands and knees. Curl your toes. And as you exhale, sit back onto your heels, keeping your toes curled under. You may need to help your little toes forward. If you can, hips are straight under your shoulders, so your spine is nice and straight. If this is too much weight on the soles of the feet, you can always lean forward a little bit. Inhale, reach the arms out, and as you exhale, bring them in front. Right arm over the left, bend your elbows. Perhaps the back of your hands are together, or you can wrap your wrists as well and come up together with the palms. Keep your shoulder blades down so you feel a nice stretch in those same muscles around the shoulder blades. And as you inhale, lift the elbows without lifting your shoulders. And as you exhale, draw the elbows down. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, elbows down. A few more like this. Keep your shoulders down. Notice the space between your shoulder blades. See if you can breathe there. One more breath. Exhale, coming down, unwind the arms, reach them out to the side, lower them by your side. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, bring them out in front. Cross the left over the right arm. Bend the elbows. Again, either back of the palms or cross the wrists and palms together. And then keeping the shoulders down, same thing. Just lifting the elbows up and down at the pace of your breath. Just focusing on the breath, so you're deterring your attention from the sensations in your feet. You may feel like your feet are on fire. They're not. They're just stretching. Relax your face. Relax your breath. One more breath in and out. And then release the arms, reach them out to the side. Lift your heart up. Looking up, perhaps drawing the arms back a little, and exhale. Release the hands. Coming onto your hands, free your feet, and then gently shake your heels, or maybe even tap your feet. And maybe sighing a sigh of relief here. Rotate the ankles. Lots of blood and chi and aliveness in your feet now. And curl the toes under. And as you exhale, come up to a downward facing dog and take a moment here to move in your downward dog in whichever way it feels good. And then Come to stillness. Bend your knees slightly, lifting the sits bones, pressing the floor away. Shoulder blades actively pulling down on your back. And take a nice deep breath. Exhale, lower your knees down. Uncurl the toes, sitting onto your heels if you can. Reaching the arms out and up. Inhale. And exhale, hands come down. And then if you have your block stick, place them at the front of your mat. Come onto your hands and knees and exhale to downward facing dog again. And then as you inhale, step your right foot forward between your hands into a lunge, taking your hands on your blocks so the blocks are straight under your shoulders on either side of the front foot. So make sure the blocks are not too wide apart. And then as you inhale, lift the hips, the front leg can straighten any amount. Keep the front big toe on the floor. Exhale, bend the front knee and then bend the back knee almost to the floor. So don't touch the ground. Inhale, straighten the back leg. And then lift the hips to straighten the front leg. Keeping toes grounded. Exhale, front knee bends and then the back knee bends. So as you continue, be really precise about each stage of this movement, each posture that you land in. And the legs are really active, so you're strengthening the legs. It's important to strengthen the legs to keep your knees healthy. So going at your own pace. And then the next time your hips lift and the front leg straightens any amount, stay there. Maybe slide your blocks back a little bit to have your hands straight under your shoulders. And then flex the front foot, digging the heel into the floor. Engage your quads. So pull the kneecap up. See if you can keep your spine nice and long. So maybe make your blocks a little higher if you need. And even though the left heel is not on the floor, let it release down. So you stretch the left calf as well as the right. And take another breath. As you exhale, lower your right foot back to the floor. Maybe slide your left block even further back so it's really your hand straight under your shoulder. Hug the inner thighs in. Make sure your hips are square. Reach the right arm out and up. So you're opening your chest, but keep your hips square to the front and look to the front. Let your right palm face to the front. So your body's going into these different directions. The chest is opening to the right. Your hips are square to the front. And your gaze is forward. Deep breath, ground your right big toe. Exhale, reach the right arm back and down to the block. Bend your front knee. And step back to downward facing dog. Maybe noticing a difference between your right and your left leg now. And then step your left foot forward between your hands. Again, use your blocks. Really straight under your shoulders. As you inhale, lifting the hips, the front leg straightens any amount. And as you exhale, bend your front knee and then lower the back knee almost to the floor. Inhale, the back leg straightens, then the hips lift and the front leg straightens. Exhale, the front knee straightens and then the back knee bends. So again, at your own pace, not rushing through the motions, but being really aware of which muscles are engaging, which muscles are stretching. Your right glute is engaged the entire time. The core is gently engaged. And then the next time you lift the hips and the front leg straightened, slide your blocks back a little bit, squaring the hips, and then flex the front foot, digging the left heel down, and let the right heel release to the ground as well. Keeping the spine nice and long. One more breath. Exhale, lower the left foot back to the floor. Slide especially the right block even a little further back. Lift the left arm out and up. Twist your chest to the left, but you look forward to the short end of your mat. Your left palm is facing forward. Your hips are square. Make sure there's a micro bend in your front knee so you're not hanging in the left knee joint and the legs are still super active. So inner thighs hug, the glutes are engaged, your left quadriceps are engaged. A nice deep breath. As you exhale, slowly release the left hand down, bend the front knee and step forward into a forward fold. And you may like to take a block in front of you if your hands are not comfortably resting on the floor. Knees are slightly bent. Let your head hang, and we're going to stay here for a few minutes. So a yin version of a forward fold, standing. So of course you cannot entirely relax your muscles because then you would fall, but don't let this be active in a sense that you're trying to get anywhere, that you're trying to get your legs straight. So knees are slightly bent, or just let the head hang. If the block is not of service, just move it out of your way and really give the spine the opportunity here to hang out literally. The weight of your head is giving a nice traction to the spinal cord. And let the weight of your shoulders release. See if you can even feel the muscles around your shoulder blades release. Elbows are heavy. Noticing your breath. Take one more deep breath here. Releasing completely. Now carefully heel toe your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Then very slowly bend your knees, coming down into a squat. And very slowly lift your head. Your head has been upside down for 2 minutes, so don't lift up too quickly. If you need to sit on a block, please do. If you can allow the sits bones to release towards your heels, just letting the lower back get another little stretch. The hands can be on the floor. Just making it really simple. And then bring your hands behind you, carefully sit down. Now with your knees bent, point your toes, so you're just with the big toes touching the floor. Your hands can be behind you to start, but let the core be active so the spine is straight, so you're not rounding the lower back. Imagine a string attached to your chest that is pulling you up to the ceiling. And then bring your legs into a tabletop. Now you can do this entire exercise with your hands lightly resting behind you. If you want a little more challenge, you can bring your arms out in front. But make sure you're not rounding the lower back. So you're really pulling belly button to spine, chest is lifting. Now as you exhale, dip your right big toe down to the floor and bring it back up. Exhale, left toe down, inhale, back up. So alternating, dipping your big toes. Belly button keeps pulling to your spine. Keep lifting the chest, relax your shoulders. You can lower your hands down if you need to. But keep your core active even when your hands are on the floor. One more on the left, coming back. And then maybe you can straighten the right leg. And then maybe you can straighten the left leg. Maybe you can straighten both legs. Maybe your arms can come up. And exhale, hug your knees into your chest. All right, that was enough activity for today, right? So get your blanket ready. Oh, actually, before you do that, let's roll down and lie flat for a moment. So extend your arms, knees are bent around your lower back. Roll down carefully, one vertebra at a time. So use your core strength. And then when you come down with the head, reach your arms overhead, extend the legs, arch your lower back, and give your belly a little stretch here. And then release the arms by your sides, pull your knees into your chest. If your spine allows, you can rock up to sit or roll to your side to come up. And now you can situate your blanket, or if you have a bolster, you can use that instead. So you can either create a small bolster with your blanket, rolling it from the short side. So you have this nice short, thick blanket roll. Place it lengthwise on your mat. One of my favorite poses, I know it's a favorite of some of you too. Upper back on the blanket roll, lower back is free, so make sure your head is supported. Feet together, knees apart in butterfly. Arms away from the body. Palms facing up, allowing the shoulders to drape towards the floor. If you feel that it's not appropriate for your body to get this opening in the hips, then support your legs with the blocks. And allow your whole body to become heavy, completely relaxed. And so now it's up to you if you'd like to use this time and to practice mindful awareness of this moment, so you could stay connected with the breath. You could just have a This gentle awareness of your surroundings and your experience. But you could also make a conscious choice to just allow yourself to rest, not do anything, but let it be a conscious choice. Take a nice deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. And you can bring your left knee up and let it come down to the right. You can carefully roll to your right side, moving the blanket or your bolster out of the way. And then coming to lie flat again on your back, straightening the legs. And if it feels good, you could slide that rolled up blanket or your bolster under your knees. Letting your body rest here in neutral, allowing it to absorb and integrate the effects of your practice. And then slowly deepen your breath. And bringing knees in towards your chest. And slowly roll to your side and come up to sit, and we'll end with a few minutes of silent meditation. Sorry. So as you come to sit, allow your eyes to close or lower your gaze. Just sitting quietly. Accompanied by the fullness of your own being. And slowly take a nice deep breath in. And let it go as you exhale. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart and bow your head as a gesture of gratitude and appreciation and for your own being, the time you took to practice today. And as a gesture of offering the benefits of our practice to all beings. And thank you so much for joining me here today.